Every pregnancy needs utmost care and attention. But certain pregnancies need a little extra attention. An RH negative mother carrying an RH positive baby is at increased risk of complications. BSV is at the forefront to ensure safe delivery in every RH negative pregnancy.
Hello and welcome to the Outside View, presented by Women's Quick Zone and brought to you by BSV, Puma, Food and Wellness, MRI Hospitals and MPL Sports Foundation. So before the start of the innings, did you expect anything less than domination? You probably didn't. The way Australia have carried themselves in this tournament so far, we knew something special was coming in. A special partnership there between the openers and then Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. And then England, Anya Shrapsol making a little comeback there on a hat trick as well. A lot of events in this first innings so far. And we are here with our experts to discuss this first innings. I have alongside me Britney, Cooper, and Dane Niekerk. So, firstly, before we start talking about the batters, coming to you, Dane, first. Should we just talk about the decision of England to bowl first? We saw in the semi-final game that South Africa also opted to bowl first, and so Australia put a very big total in front of them. Of course, it's a World Cup game. Probably would want to have a target in front of you, but knowing the depth and strength of Australia's batting unit, do you think that decision was absolutely right?
Yeah, look, I was actually saying to Marizon when we watched this last couple of overs as well, and we just spoke about the semis, and I said to you know what, because we spoke about how England's going to go about this, and I said the whole World Cup, I said, I hope the one team takes a leaf out of the book of the other team. You know, what did they do well? How can we implement it that way? And I said to her, oh, that thought just got me about what you just said is. Did they not watch the semi-final? South Africa thought, yes, won the toss, bowling first, and then they scored close to 300. So I would have thought, yes, I thought it wasn't a bad, because you think, okay, Australia is a very good chasing side, but also runs on the board. If you get anything in the excess of 270, you have something to bowl to, and you can maybe put a batting lineup under pressure. But them setting might not put them under pressure. They've got the freedom to go, and that's what you saw. From the Australian batters. They just had complete freedom and took their time at the start, and then just absolutely bullied the bowling all the way through until the back end there, with Shrapsol got a couple of wickets. But yeah, look, I just think might probably not have been the right. If you look at the previous game as well, it looks like a flat batting track.
Definitely. We know that Australia love to chase, but we also know that they wouldn't mind putting up a good total on board as well. Let's have a look at the batting scorecard, a daunting one there with the openers giving the team a very good start. Alyssa Healy, 170, Rachel Haynes there, 68, Beth Mooney just coming in there and helping to continue the momentum that the openers gave the side. Of course, a couple of wickets there in the middle. We saw Meg Lanning take the charge of the field with the bat. Playing her 100th one-day international game, and Elise Perry also coming in and chipping in those 17 runs for the side. But let's just first talk about Alyssa Healy. In the pre-show as well, we were discussing how the most number of runs, probably then it was 76%, but now it would be definitely more, that the runs for Australia have come from their top order. Alyssa Healy's innings against South Africa, I remember Marina also in the show, she said that probably the young batters should take a leaf from her book and learn how to accelerate your innings. Do not think of the strike rate at the very beginning. Just preserve your wicket. And today, let's just have a look at what she has achieved today with her innings. Alyssa Healy, of course, scored that 170 runs. Here it is, 509 runs in this World Cup she scored. Highest score in a World Cup final, 170. Highest individual score by a wicket-keeper batter in ODIs. What else can you ask for in a final when you're playing and you're just continuing the domination of the side, Britney?
I don't even know how to really explain that innings is just like it just seemed like England had no answers and Healy was just on top every ball. I love how she used the crease. Love how she used the crease. Just perfect, the perfect innings to me to in such an important game in a final. We know that she scored 100 in the semi-finals against South Africa, but this is a much better innings, not because it's more runs she scored, but I just felt like how you said how she accelerated her innings in the latter part, and she used the crease, she was scored all around the ground. Yeah, what an innings! Not really much you could say to explain such an innings. I think everyone is just at how incredible that innings was.
Of course, Danny played with her in the WBBL as well. What is that thing that she brings to the table? Because when we see that ever since she started opening the batting for Australia, we've seen an altogether different player in her and performing in pressure situations. Probably she loves to perform in the finals, and that's where the team needs you the most. And she's come and delivered for the side. And today, 357 is a huge total. Already, Australia have a big advantage to their side.
Yeah, look, I think it's the freedom at the top. I think credit to management giving her probably that freedom of saying, you play your game, because when you come off like that. So I think the freedom at the top, as any batter that I guess that makes it, I guess gives you a clear mind. What your role is, and you can execute that. So I think maybe that is the one thing, as you say, going up at the top, saying take on the bowlers, and we've seen in the past that she goes out playing high risk shots, but as I said, it takes one of those innings to put the team into 350 position, and I think that's what they want, and again, that's credit to the management of identifying what they want her to do, and obviously her saying, okay, well, that is what I want to do, and kind of back that. So yeah, yeah, it's a big match, and you want your seniors to step up, and stepping up by scoring 170. Yeah, again, just credit to the decisions that has been made. So yeah, a very good innings.
Definitely a very good innings and one that we would cherish for a long time to come. And of course, Rachel Haynes as well. Both of them probably took their enough time, punished everything that wasn't a good ball. They punished it. They made sure that they give that strong foundation. 160 runs. Australia are the only team to have more 50 plus partnerships in this World Cup, Britney. Both of them, they did that against South Africa in the semi-finals as well. They've done it today as well, building those partnership. And of course, Rachel Haynes also looked so good on the field today.
Yeah, as we mentioned before that, even when Australia lose a wicket, the batter that comes and continue to score at the rate that the previous batter left. Even look at the end of the scorecard, you look at Perry, McGrath, and even Lani to the extent they were scoring at strike rate was over 100 to 200. So it just goes that, they know how to accelerate at the right time, and they understand each other, and even though they wasn't in the wicket, and they was looking at the game and they understand what the pitch have to offer, and they just came out and display um that quality.
Definitely. So we're talking about the Australia's batting unit. Let's just see the highest run getters of this World Cup so far. If we have a look at the top five highest run getters in this World Cup, four of them are from Australia. It's Alyssa Healy, Rachel Haynes, and Alyssa Healy. Of course, first it was Rachel Haynes with her innings, then Alyssa Healy overcome her in this very match. Laura Wolfart, of course, was in a terrific form. And then you have the skipper, Meg Lannon, and Beth Mooney, 330. This tells you a big story because the bowlers always have a little edge when Australia batted first. They have a lot of runs to defend, and the depth in the batting unit is something that Australia have benefited in this World Cup so far. So, talking about England now, Dane, do you think it was only a sheer dominance from the Australian batters, or was there any concern area from the bowling unit? Probably we saw two catches being dropped, and when you're playing a World Cup final, of course, you wouldn't want that to happen. And both of them, Haynes and Healy, went on to score big. But do you think there should have been any change in the approach of bowling, or probably the line and lengths, or it was just too a good performance from the Australian batters?
Okay, with that score, you have to say Australia was completely dominant. But I'm just looking at the lengths that they bowl early to Haynes. We all know that she's very good on the short ball, very, very good. And, they just erred a little bit shorter to her. You want to be a bit fuller attacking the stumps to her. So, yeah, I think there they got it wrong. And then yeah, the Charlie Dean has been incredible, but if you look at how, and that's what I said, yes, there's two. Charlie Dean's not a big spinner of the ball. She's not a big turner. And also we saw in the previous games that maybe later it took a little bit more turn, but she's not a big turner of the ball, so it's not something that's going to trouble the batters as much. So you could see that Haynes was using her feet freely, accessing the offside very well. It's almost there was no doubt of the ball that's going to just turn miles past my bat. Type of thing. And also the pace she bowled, she bowled it up there. And the Australians love to use their feet, absolutely love to use their feet. So the moment you toss it up, they are up for the task. I have to give credit to the way they played Eccleston as well. Using her pace a little bit more, a little bit smarter than maybe other countries, using her pace a little bit more, and getting down on one knee, lapping, and all those things. It's hard to say what they could have done, right? Because as I said, that wicket looks flat as I've seen a wicket in a very long time. But that's cricket for you. And as a team in a final, you need to try and work out plans and assess the wicket as soon as possible. And if you can't do that against a very dominant Australian side, then you are going to be found wanting. So I think England should be a bit disappointed. Maybe had to go a bit more to their variations, taking the pace off, setting more square fields maybe. Just doing something different, saying, okay, we're going short and we're going to put a square field, keep the straights up and see, if we can maybe keep them quiet or go full, stuff like that. I just think, it just looked like, as Britney mentioned, they just looked like they had no answers. And, 350 is going to be a big target. But, again, just look at the way they started. Australia started slow and they built an innings. They didn't bat for it. It didn't look like they wanted to score 350, but the way they went about it, again, the wicket's flat. It'll do the job for you, but you need to obviously be patient and get yourself in.
Definitely. And we saw in the group stage match when Australia and England faced each other, Australia had then scored 310 runs, and England fell short just by 12 runs. So they still would want to come there and give strong fight, and that's what they would aim to do. So if we get to before we get to the chase, let's just have a look at the bowling scorecard from England. Of course, they would have wanted to get those early breakthroughs, especially with the kind of start the openers have given to the side. Anya Shrapsol, of course, joined the party, came into the party, but it was too late by then. But probably it made a little bit of difference there of 10-15 runs. Had Healy still was there on the field, that would have taken Australia even for 15-20 runs more. Sophia Eccleston with 1 run, and Anya Shrapsol was economical with the ball as well there. But now England have a very big task in their hand. And if we have to come to the chase, we would want to see a Tammy Bowman special today, Britney, isn't it? Because we know that she's the highest run getter in the world, last ODI World Cup when it was played. Of course, she has looked on and off in this tournament so far, but Danny Wyatt has found her rhythm back. So a good partnership there today from England is what would make a big difference for them if they look to defend their title.
England will need some really good partnerships on the whole, not just one. Each batter will have to come out and display that confidence, probably take a page out of Australia book, where obviously England have nothing to lose. And, for the mini likes of Jonah and Natsima is going to be very important in this innings, because the middle order will have to come really good. We saw Wyatt get some runs in the last game, and I know Bowman been consistent from the start of the World Cup, but last 2 games she haven't really scored any runs. But for me, it will be to see how they play the spinners, because as Dane said, when I saw Dean bowl the first over and there wasn't spinners, I started to shook my head. I was like, this is going to be a very difficult one because England have been very reliant on Charlie Dean and Sophia Kassoon. So for me, I think it'll be how England play Australia. Spinners will give them a good run in this game.
And Sophia Dunkley there would also want to just resume from where she left from the last game, Dane, because we've seen the way she has reinvented herself after being not the part of the side. She went into the domestic circuit, worked on her game, and that has reflected in her performances with the kind of performances she has brought in this World Cup. And a good performance today from her would be awaited from the England side.
Yeah, she's been invaluable down the order for for England. She, as I mentioned in the previous game, she she took the international cricket like this. Yeah, she's going to be very important. But I also think that England, just the way I said for the chase for South Africa, they need to identify what they want to score in the last 10. Chasing such a mammoth total. And almost like backing Sophia to do that because she bats at a really good strike rate. So it's almost like, sounds odd, but the team or the top order saying what can we do to assist her down the order, with maybe a Catherine Brown that can strike the ball really far. Just identifying what they can do. But yeah, she is going to be important. But it's also important that England don't put too much pressure on her. She can't come in and you expect her to score 10 and over from the get-go. So, a very interesting chase on their hands. I need to go at sevens from the start. So it's not easy because you can't take your time too much because the run rate's going to jump up a little bit, but it's certainly they're gonna have to find a way to make sure that Sophia has adequate time to make an impact in the game, but also not impossible.
Of course, and they wouldn't want to lose this opportunity to give all their best, but there is this daunting bowling unit of Australia as well. We see Darcy Brown there, the 19-year-old. Do we need to tell her that she's been doing a very big deal in this World Cup so far, opening the bowling alongside Megan Shute, keeping it tight? And then, of course, as you mentioned, Britney, along with the pacers, the spinners also, you're excited to watch the battle out there, and then it's Alana King. How do you see the Australian bowlers today coming in and taking the charge of the field? They have plenty of runs to defend, and once again, we're going to see a dominating Australian bowling unit coming in, just attacking the England batters there.
I believe the Australia pace bowling attack will come out really aggressive. Come on, they have 350 plus runs on the ball to defend. So I think that Darcy Brown going to look to find that perfect let on that flat wicket, and she's going to be very aggressive. Alana King is going to be a key for Australia in that middle over period. But as I said, I know England challenge right now to get even close to that total will be to play Australia spinners as good as they play theirs.
Your take on that, Dane? Because it's a huge lot of runs for the Australian bowling unit there, and we've seen that they've done. Alana King, if we have to talk about her as well, she's been impressive ever since she's made her debut for Australia there.
Yeah, I felt like it was overdue for Alana. She's been very good in domestic cricket for, in Australia for quite a while, and got lucky enough to spend a bit of time with her. She was in Marizon's team at the Scorchers, so had some really good chats with her about leg spin in general, and that kind of hope that she would be in the World Cup side, even though at the time I didn't think I was going to break my ankle, so I was a bit worried to face her. She's certainly not an easy bowler to face because of she's also a bit quicker through the air, a bit flatter as well, so you kind of in 2 months to use your feet, as is the theme for the successful bowlers at this World Cup. But no, she's obviously going to be important. Darcy has been a good seed. Played with her at Adelaide Strikers. She's I don't think she understands how good she is. She's such a level-headed kid, just a fun kid to be around. So and then Megan Shute has been, incredible for a number of years. So no, they've got a very good bowling attack. But again, as both of us mentioned, it's important and imperative that England try and mimic what Australia did. Take down their bankers. Their bankers. Lana King is going to be important, but if Siva can use her feet really well, that she does really well, very quick, put them under pressure. The way that they've been putting all the bowling lineups under pressure, it might see a different ball game because, we saw in the 2017 70, when Harman just put the bowlers under pressure a little bit, it was a different ball game. I've seen more impossible things happen in my life, so I'm definitely not going to say it's impossible, but it's going to be a very, very difficult task. At the moment, the trophy is sitting in the Australian change room, in my opinion.
Of course, and you would need a Alyssa Healy kind of a special performance coming in from one of the batters from the England side if they want to defend their total. Of course, they come from Ashes defeat as well, so they would want to settle the scores there. So let's just take quick predictions from you guys. It's going to be difficult for you, for both of you, of course. But instead of asking who is going to be crowned as the champions, let's see who is going to give that tough fight with the bat for England, because we know that someone coming in and stepping up for the side would be important for the England setup there. Who do you think is going to be that fighter from the England side today, Britney?
For me, I would say that Sebastani recently mentioned that she's a really good player, a spin, and she will need to bat as deep and long into England innings to even come close to that 300 mark.
Your pick, Danny?
Yeah, I'm with Britney. Massive fan of Nat Siva. She showed it in the group stages when they played Australia. Came from nowhere, scored probably for me one of the most impressive hundreds in the World Cup. So yeah, my pick's definitely Nat. She's powerful, front foot and back foot, and as Britney mentioned, she needs to take it really, really deep for them to have half a chance.
Of course, the game is not over until the last ball is bowled, and we're all excited to see how the second innings unfold. England would want to go there and express themselves. When we join you in the post-match, we'll of course have the champions of this World Cup. We've been waiting for this day since long. We've seen some eventful things in the first innings, hoping to see something like that in the second innings as well, and we'll join you for the post-match show.